Lawrence Chris Parker, better known by his stage names KRS One, an abbreviation of Knowledge Reigns Supreme Over Nearly Everyone, is an American rapper, record producer, actor, and activist. KRS One is a rapper who became famous in the 80s as part of the hip-hop group Boogie Down Productions, which helped to pioneer the fusion of rap and reggae. Later, in 1993, he began releasing solo albums under his own name. Among KRS One's biggest hit songs are Sound of the Police, My Philosophy, and Love's Gonna Getcha, Material Love. He is politically active, having started the Stop the Violence movement after La Rock's death. He is also a vegan activist, expressed in songs such as Beef. He is widely considered an influence on many hip-hop artists. KRS One has an estimated net worth of $10 million. He is 6 feet 3 inches tall. KRS One early life. Lawrence Parker was born in the New York City borough of Brooklyn in 1965 to an American mother. His biological father, who was not involved in his upbringing, was from the Caribbean island of Barbados. He had a troubled childhood, suffering severe beatings from his American stepfather John Parker when the family lived in Harlem, New York. When his mother left the marriage, both he and his younger brother Kenny moved with her to the Bronx, before again moving a year later to Brooklyn. Home life continued to be difficult, including further physical abuse at the hands of his mother's new Jamaican partner, and he ran away from home several times. At age 16, he left home permanently and spent a time living homeless in New York, before eventually signing himself into a group home in the Bronx. Growing up, Parker had developed a deep love of the emerging hip-hop culture in New York, and by that time he was honing his craft as an MC, as well as being an active graffiti writer. Sometime after leaving the group home, he moved into a homeless shelter in the South Bronx where he was dubbed Krishna by the residents due to his curiosity about the Hare Krishna spirituality of some of the anti-poverty workers. During his stay at the community shelter, he encountered youth counselor Scott Sterling, aka DJ Scott La Rock, and there began a DJ-MC relationship. He also engaged in the street art activity graffiti under the alias KRS One, Knowledge Reigns Supreme Over Nearly Everyone. Together he and Sterling created Boogie Down Productions, releasing their debut album, Criminal Minded, in 1987. KRS One personal life. KRS One is a vocal supporter of veganism. He supported Ron Paul for president during his 2012 run. KRS One's stepson, Randy Parker, was found dead in his Atlanta, Georgia, apartment on July 6, 2007. The medical examiner's office stated that Parker had died of a gunshot wound to the head and listed the cause of death as suicide. His son Chris Parker, born 1992, is an aspiring music producer and DJ known as Predator Prime. KRS One professional career. Formed in 1986, the hip-hop group Boogie Down Productions included Parker, going by the name KRS One, plus DJ Scott La Rock and Derek D. Nice Jones. The group released its first album, Criminal Minded, in 1987. Tragedy rocked Boogie Down Productions shortly after this, as Scott La Rock was killed in a shooting while trying to mediate an argument between D-Nice and some local toughs. Despite this awful turn of events, the group insisted on moving forward and released its second album, By All Means Necessary, in 1988. Following this, Boogie Down Productions became increasingly political in its content and released the albums Ghetto Music, The Blueprint of Hip-Hop, Edutainment, and Live Hardcore Worldwide. The group's final album, Sex and Violence, came out in 1992. With Boogie Down Productions, KRS One gained recognition as one of the first MCs to bring a Jamaican style into hip-hop music, using the zoom-zoom melody of Jamaican dance halls. Boogie Down Productions was also highly influential in giving voice to the harsh reality of life in the South Bronx, paving the way for the birth of the gangsta rap movement. In response to the prevalence of violence in black communities, KRS One established the hip-hop group Stop the Violence movement in the late 80s. Featuring some of the biggest names in East Coast hip-hop, the group released a single called Self-Destruction in 1989, with all of its proceeds going to the National Urban League. Following the end of Boogie Down Productions, KRS One embarked on a solo career. His first solo album, Return of the Boom Bap, came out in 1993. 2 years later, he released a self-titled album featuring guest appearances by Busta Rhymes, Fat Joe, Mad Lion, and Channel Live, among others. A significant hit, the album reached number 19 on the Billboard 200 and number 2 on the top R&B/hip hop albums chart, and spawned the singles MCs Act Like They Don't Know and Rappas Are in Danger. KRS One's next album was 1997's I Got Next, which became his best-selling solo album after peaking at number 3 on the Billboard 200. Subsequently, he released the compilation album A Retrospective in 2000. Following this, KRS One recorded a string of new albums, including The Sneak Attack, The Gospel-Inflected Spiritual-Minded, Christyless, Keep Right, and Life. In 2007, he released Hip Hop Lives, a collaboration with Marley Marl. Later albums have included Maximum Strength, the BDP album, Now Hear This, and Between the Protests. KRS One has collaborated with a range of artists throughout his career, including REM, Halifax, and J-Rock in Jake Beats. In 2009, he made guest appearances on a number of albums, including Master Ace and Ed OG's Arts and Entertainment and Cormega's Born and Raised. He also collaborated with Buckshot on the album Survival Skills. In the early 2000s, KRS One founded the Temple of Hip Hop, a ministry, archive, school, and society aiming to promote the culture of hip hop. Embracing the genre as an authentic vehicle for the advancement of culture, faith, and politics, the group encourages fans to celebrate Hip Hop Appreciation Week on the third week of May each year. It also promotes the creation, recording, playing, and listening to of socially conscious rap music. KRS One has courted some significant controversy for comments he's made over the years. Most notably, he drew ire during a 2004 panel discussion with The New Yorker when he said that we cheered when 9/11 happened. Contextualizing the remark in a later editorial, he said that 9/11 did not affect the black community so much as the rich and powerful of the country. For KRS One, 9/11 represented an attack on an establishment that ignored and oppressed him and other black people, an attack he thus viewed as a kind of justice. He stirred some more, less potent controversy when he released a book called The Gospel of Hip Hop, the First Instrument, which he claimed would become a new sacred religious text in 100 years' time. Thanks for watching, and kindly don't forget to subscribe. You may also like and share this video to family and friends.